You were not created to live an average life. You were not called to just survive. You were designed, destined, and divinely crafted to dominate, to thrive, not by chance, but by choice. But you'll never rise to your full power if your energy is scattered, your attention divided, and your identity wrapped up in what everybody else is doing. Your breakthrough begins within. That simple truth has the power to transform your entire life, but only if you truly grasp it. Too many people go searching for solutions in the world around them, thinking the next book, the next mentor, the next job, the next connection will unlock the door to their destiny. But the real shift happens the moment you stop looking outward and start digging inward. That's when the real work begins, the work that actually matters. Inside you is a blueprint that was already written before you ever showed up on this planet. You are not an accident. You are not a mistake. You were created with purpose, power, and potential. But if you never pause to explore what's been deposited inside of you, you'll go through life thinking you need something you already have. God doesn't call the equipped. He equips the called. And if he called you, he already gave you what you need to fulfill the assignment. The question is, have you uncovered it? Breakthrough doesn't come by accident. It comes by alignment. Alignment with your purpose, alignment with your identity, and alignment with the truth of who you really are. Not who people said you were, not who you've been pretending to be to fit in, but the you that was fearfully and wonderfully made. That version of you, that's where the power lies. That's where clarity lives. That's where transformation starts. But here's what most people do instead. They wait. They wait for permission, wait for validation, wait for the perfect timing. Waiting becomes their comfort zone. But breakthrough doesn't visit the passive. It rewards the intentional. You won't step into your next level by accident. You'll step into it because you chose to confront your own patterns, challenge your own thinking, and commit to doing the deep inner work. What's keeping most people from breakthrough is not lack of information. It's the refusal to sit in silence, to face themselves, to get honest about where they are and why they're there. It's easier to distract ourselves with noise than to confront the truth in quiet. But nothing changes until you do. Until you stop running from yourself and start running toward who you were created to be, the cycle just keeps repeating. When you shift your focus inward, you begin to see where your beliefs came from. You start recognizing the lies you inherited, the fears you've been carrying, and the doubts you've been feeding. You start realizing that the limitation wasn't your circumstances, it was your perception of them. And that's when the light bulb goes off. The power to break free was never out there. It was buried under the rubble of your own unresolved stories. The moment you embrace the truth that your breakthrough starts with you, you stop blaming and start building. You stop pointing fingers and start pointing forward. Because once you know where the work is, there's no excuse not to do it. It's not easy, it's not instant, but it's absolutely worth it. Every layer you peel back, every belief you renew, every fear you replace with faith gets you one step closer to the version of you who's already living the life you're dreaming about. You start to develop habits that align with your higher self. You talk different, walk different, think different, not because you're pretending, but because you're finally becoming. That's what inner work does. It doesn't just change how you act, it changes how you see. And when your vision shifts, your decisions follow. You start operating like the person who's already received the breakthrough. Because spiritually, mentally, emotionally, you already have. People around you will notice the shift, but they won't always understand it. That's okay. This journey isn't about convincing them. It's about awakening you, the real you, the disciplined you, the faithful you, the version of you that's no longer waiting for external change to create internal peace. You've flipped it. You've decided to let internal transformations shape your external reality. That's the shift. That's the foundation. That's the difference between existing and evolving. Comparison kills, and it does it slowly. It doesn't knock on your door and announce itself with a warning. It sneaks in quietly through the scroll of a phone, the highlight reel of someone else's life, the whispers of inadequacy that creep in when you see someone doing what you dream of doing, only they seem 10 steps ahead. Comparison doesn't just distract you, it diminishes you. It convinces you that your journey isn't valid because it doesn't look like someone else's. It tells you that your pace is too slow, your progress too small, your voice too quiet. And without realizing it, you start disqualifying yourself from a race that was uniquely designed for you. When you compare, you trade your authenticity for imitation. You start copying blueprints that were never meant to build your house. You begin to mimic tones, strategies, styles, and rhythms that might look successful for someone else, but feel hollow for you. That's because you weren't called to be them, you were called to be you. But comparison clouds your vision. It blinds you to your own brilliance. It tricks you into thinking their spotlight means your light is dim, when in reality, their shine has nothing to do with your glow. You both can shine. But only if you stop chasing their lane and start owning yours. The most dangerous part of comparison is that it robs you of gratitude. You stop seeing what's good in your life because you're too focused on what looks great in someone else's. You forget that progress is still progress, even if it's quiet. You stop celebrating your small wins because they don't feel like enough. But what you fail to see is that someone else is looking at your life with the same envy you've been projecting outward. It's a toxic cycle that nobody wins in, because everyone's race looks better from the stands, but nobody sees the struggle behind the scenes. The truth is, people don't post their process, they post their peaks. You don't see the tears, the trials, the nights they almost quit. You just see the polished version, the filtered frame, the edited success story. So here you are measuring your real life against their curated content, and you wonder why you feel behind. You wonder why you feel stuck. It's because you're not focused on your own work. Your eyes are on the wrong field. Your mind is filled with noise that's not even your business, and your spirit is drained by comparisons that never feed your purpose. Focus is the antidote. When you truly focus, when your mind, your energy, your time, and your soul are aligned with your mission, everything changes. You stop caring about how fast they're running and start caring about how faithfully you're moving. You stop measuring yourself against others and start measuring yourself against your potential. Focus brings clarity, it brings peace, it brings power. Because now you're not scattered, you're not trying to be everywhere and everything. You're laser sharp, deeply rooted, and moving with intention. Focus is where results live. It's where growth happens, not in the distractions, not in the comparisons, not in the mind games, but in the work. Focus forces you to sit with yourself, assess your path, define your goals, and eliminate what's not aligned. And that's hard to do when your mind is constantly trying to match someone else's definition of success. Focus says, I'm building something that matters even if no one else sees it yet. It's internal validation over external applause. It's mission over mimicry. It's purpose over popularity. You begin to realize that your timeline is sacred, that rushing won't make the fruit ripen faster, and comparison won't bring the harvest quicker. Everything you're meant to experience will come in its due season, but only if you're faithful in this one. That means staying in your lane. That means protecting your focus like it's your life's currency, because it is. Every moment you spend watching someone else's journey is a moment you're not walking your own. And nobody can walk it for you. As you reclaim your focus, you start to feel the shift. You're no longer anxious about how far others have gone. You're energized by how far you can go. You stop asking, why not me, and start declaring, I'm next. That's what happens when you focus. You stop feeling threatened and start stepping called. You stop shrinking and start stepping. You stop mimicking and start mastering. And all of it happens when your eyes are no longer drifting sideways but locked straight ahead on the purpose set before you. Every distraction that once felt urgent now feels irrelevant. The noise fades. The anxiety quiets. The envy dissolves. And in its place, a steady fire starts to burn. A fire of discipline, of clarity, of faith. That fire fuels the kind of consistent, purpose-driven action that comparison will never produce. Because comparison breeds doubt, but focus breeds confidence. And confidence isn't loud, It's grounded. It's the quiet assurance that you're exactly where you need to be, becoming exactly who you're meant to become. The question is not, are they ahead of me? The real question is, am I honoring my assignment today? Because if you are, then you're already winning. Energy must be directed, not dispersed. Energy is your most valuable currency. It fuels your thoughts, your actions, your decisions, and ultimately your destiny. But here's the problem. Most people don't know where their energy is going. They wake up tired. They move through the day drained. And by the time they lay their head down at night, they feel like they've run a marathon without ever taking a step forward. That's not because they're lazy. It's because their energy is being leaked, not led. And until you take full authority over your energy, you'll always feel like you're working hard but getting nowhere. When your energy is scattered, your results are scattered. You can't expect focused outcomes with unfocused effort. Think about a river. When it's contained and directed, it generates enough power to light up entire cities. But when it overflows with no boundaries, it becomes destructive and uncontrollable. Your life is no different. The more boundaries you set, the more direction you give, the more power you hold. The less intentional you are, the more you'll find yourself reacting to everything and creating nothing. We live in a world that's constantly demanding our attention. Notifications, conversations, emails, opinions, headlines. Every one of those things is trying to claim a piece of your energy. If you don't decide where your energy goes, the world will decide for you. And the world doesn't care about your calling, your peace, or your purpose. It will keep you busy but empty. It will keep you distracted but not developed. It will make you feel exhausted without ever giving you fulfillment. Because noise is not progress and movement is not momentum if it's taking you away from where you're supposed to be. You have to start asking yourself every day, is this building me or draining me? If it's not building your spirit, sharpening your mind, fueling your purpose, or supporting your growth, then it's costing you more than you realize. Conversations, relationships, routines, even thoughts. Everything is either an investment or an expense to your energy, and until you start managing it like a sacred resource, you'll keep living under your potential while wondering why you're so worn out. Directing your energy means aligning your daily decisions with your deeper intentions. It means saying no when it's unpopular but necessary. It means turning off the noise so you can tune into your own voice. It means waking up with a plan, moving with conviction, and refusing to entertain what doesn't align. Because every yes you give is also a no to something else. And when you say yes to every distraction, you're saying no to your growth. You're saying no to your next level. You're saying no to the version of you that's trying to rise. Most people underestimate how powerful they could be simply because they've never channeled all their energy in one direction. They dabble in everything and master nothing. They start projects they never finish. They chase every shiny object and end up with none of the results. But when you choose one direction, when you give your energy to one clear mission, you become unstoppable. Focused energy breaks barriers. It moves mountains, it builds empires, it transforms lives. But it only works when it's aimed at something greater than comfort or convenience. And here's the real shift. Energy isn't just physical, it's spiritual, it's emotional, it's mental. What you meditate on, what you entertain in your mind, what you speak out loud, it's all energy. And if your energy is wrapped up in worry, in bitterness, and regret, then your future will be stuck in a cycle of defeat. You can't create a victorious life from a depleted spirit. You have to guard your thoughts like a fortress. You have to speak life with intention. You have to surround yourself with people who pour into you, not poke holes in you. When your energy is directed, you start to notice things shift. You begin making progress in areas that once felt stuck. You begin to see how small changes in discipline lead to massive changes in results. You stop trying to do everything and start doing the right things. And those right things compound. They build upon each other. They create momentum. And suddenly the things you used to struggle with become the things you conquer with ease, not because life got easier, but because your energy finally had a direction. Your calendar tells the truth about your energy. Your habits reveal your energy. Your environment reflects your energy. If you want to change your results, start by changing where your energy flows. Direct it toward discipline. Direct it toward purpose. Direct it toward the people and places that pull the best out of you. Because where your energy flows, your life grows. But where your energy is wasted, so is your potential. It's not about doing more, it's about doing what matters. It's not about hustling harder, it's about aligning better. Because the goal isn't just to move, the goal is to move in purpose with power in the direction of what God has called you to do. And the only way to do that is to protect your energy like your future depends on it, because it does. Master yourself to elevate your life. That's not just a motivational phrase, it's a spiritual principle, a mindset shift, and a lifelong discipline. The truth is, nothing outside of you has the power to dominate your destiny